All right, Khan Shalom. Before we start this lesson, we'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushai, Ba'Hashem, Kodash. Double honors to our teachers, the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone, the men whom we've learned this truth from. And also Shalom and salutations to the elect, the men that are out there, preaching this word in truth and sincerity. Also the men that we do these lessons for. So we're the brothers from the branch of Great Millstone, Montreal. I'm the brother Shaquat, and
Zabak.
Machaya.
Yeah, so the Spirit brought us together to do this lesson, which is entitled An Overstimulated Kingdom. And this kingdom is being ruled by Esau Edom, the so-called white man, right? You can read about that in the book of Job 9 and 24. It says how that the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So the wicked are in possession of the earth right now. And that's also synonymous with rulership. You have in possession of the earth is pretty much you ruling the earth, right? But to specify, it's the elites of the Edomites. It's not, your average Edomite. It's the elites, the bankers. A few names, a few families are the bankers. Of the bankers are the Rothschild, the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, and so on and so forth. But those are the men that are ruling this world, right? But the way that they're ruling the world is not right. And a part of that, a part of them not ruling the world the right way is the fact that they overstimulate the people,
Real quick,
Yeah.
Job 9 and 24, the earth is given unto the hand of the wicked.
Right.
He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?
That's right. So the earth is the earth, That's dealing with rulership, Because when you read the scriptures, contrary to, what the Christian church depicted it as, it really deals with kingdoms, the rising and falls of kingdoms. When you really get into the scriptures, right? And that power of who gets to rule the earth and who doesn't is given by the Heavenly Father, Yahweh. And in this case, the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, through his son Yahushai, gave the earth, which is the rulership of the earth, to the Edomites, which are the wicked. That's who they are,
And as the wicked, we understand that this kingdom is overstimulated because the wicked are in rulership.
Right.
Just to back that point, it says here, Habakkuk 2. Habakkuk 2 and 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith. Yet also because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied. If you cannot be satisfied, it's because you're overstimulated. Okay, you're always seeking for more.
Right.
Okay, you never have enough.
Right, and that's the mindset of the rulers, like we were going into earlier. As the rulers, as the people. So whatever the vibration of a ruler is, that's gonna spill over to the people.
That's it.
So the people are not satisfied, just to act to the point.
That's it. Because again, the wicked are in rulership, and what does it say? Yahushua came to give us peace, and when you have peace, it says, "You shall not want." The word, this truth will set you free, and you shall not want.
Yeah.
Because in Yahushua we are fulfilled. Okay, but them, they're not spiritual, they're carnal, and the flesh doesn't have limitations in the sense. It always wants more. It always wants to live in pleasure.
Right.
They're always seeking for the next rush, the next dopamine rush.
And he set it up like that.
Yeah.
He set up the kingdom to be like that, for you to, not be satisfied with the particular amount of anything that you have. Even down to scrolling. You're not satisfied with the amount of scrolling. You want more and more and more. But that's that dopamine that you got everybody addicted to.
That's it.
Or even the food. Your stomach tells you, I'm good, but the flesh,
finish it.
But that's probably because like all the videos of food and all the foods you see around you, everything, you don't get satisfied. I want,
Right, and also the shit that Esau adds in the food for it to be addictive too.
Yeah.
You can't forget about that. He's a mad scientist, so he adds certain additives and flavorings or whatever to make the food addictive, to where that basically it becomes a drug unto these people.
Yeah. Food and Drug Administration.
Yeah, FDA, Food and Drug Administration. Because food indeed is a drug. You know, which Esau is utilizing that in the left there to make these people hooked.
Yeah.
For what? He weaponized it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for what? For them to be dependent on him whenever they suffer from a particular disease, let's say diabetes or high cholesterol. Who do they have to go to? Esau. Because it helps with his pharmaceutical gig.
Right.
You know?
And like you said, he weaponized the food. You know, like the food is a drug, but there's twofold. The drug could be twofold. It could be a drug that heals you, or depending on how it's, you know. But Esau weaponized it. He's using it against you instead of using it to help you. That's why it says, of the physician.
Yeah.
What does it say? You know. But he's you know, he's not a profitable physician, right? Because if he was a profitable physician, that the food that he supplies you would be food that heals you. You know, will be things that actually bring you to life. But actually, he does the opposite. You know?
Yeah, real quick, just jumping, just to back up the brother's statement. This is Sirach 10 and verse 10. It says, "The physician cutteth off a long disease, and he that is today a king, tomorrow shall die." Yeah, so like the brother was saying, if Esau Edom was a true physician, he would cut off the lung disease, would actually heal people, not treat them to where that they have to come back to him basically for the rest of their life. You know, people that suffer from high cholesterol or type 2 diabetes, type 1, they have to take these medications for the rest of their life. You know? Well, really, you really don't. If you do your own research, you know, about the symptoms, you know, and you find the proper herbs to take and whatnot, you actually have to do a diligent research, okay? And you change your way of eating. You don't need to take them drugs that Esau is feeding you, man. But, you know, these people, they don't know any better, so they're dependent on Esau, man. And, you know, we know Esau is what? He's a physician of no value. That's why he's not going to cut off the lung disease, because it's not profitable unto him. That's it.
It says here, Wisdom of Solomon 16 and 12, "For it was neither herb nor mollifying plaster that restored them to health, but thy word, O Lord, which healeth all things."
Right. Yeah. You know, it's because true healing comes from the Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Of course, the herbs help, but whenever you have an ailment, first and foremost, you pray unto the Lord. You know, from there, the Lord can answer the prayer by giving you wisdom, you know, about the herbs to heal yourself right then and there. You know, but the true healing comes from the Lord, man. You know what I'm saying? Ultimately, Yahushua is the true physician, because he's going to come and cut off the lung disease that men is suffering from, especially the men of Israel. Really the men of Israel, which is what? Death. He's going to cut that off for us, man.
As it says, the issues of death are in the hands of the Lord.
Yes, sir.
If you get sick, it's because the Lord wanted you to get sick. Okay, does an evil come in the city and the Lord have not done it? And it's you can bring it down even to the individual. Okay, not just the city, the individual, because our life is in the hands of the Lord. So whenever you get sick or you get a certain ailment, it's the Lord that sent it your way, man. And it says that's a sort of judgment that the Lord brings upon you. Okay, and to bring it to back up that point, it says here in James 5 and 14, is any sick among you? Let him call the elder of the church and let him pray over him, anointing him with oil in the name of the Lord. Okay, because again, as it says, the prayer of the saints availeth much. It pierces the clouds. Okay, just the fact that you pray over someone, you anoint him. Okay, that could be enough. That could be enough to heal that individual if the Lord will. Okay, you see, through his faith, through your faith. Okay, that individual could be healed just off prayers, just off the laying of hand. And we've seen it happen in the book of Acts, where the shadow of Peter was able to heal people from their ailments or chase out their demons, man. Okay, that's the power that the Lord is going to make manifest in the times that we're coming into, man. Okay, but again, that for you to acquire that power, you gotta have faith, and you have to be in the Spirit. Okay.
I got some. Job 5 and verse 17, it says, "Behold, happy is the man whom the Most High correcteth. Therefore despise not thou the chastening of the Almighty. For he maketh sore and bindeth up. He woundeth and his hands make whole."
Yes. So again, understanding that when you catch those afflictions, when you're catching hell, don't ask why, ask why not. Okay, the Lord will bring upon you less than you deserve. Ultimately, we all deserve death, but through the grace of Yahweh Shai, through the grace of Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai, we're still breathing. Okay, even in this overstimulated kingdom, man, the Lord took us out of that filth. and kept us walking. Okay, he cleaned our minds. Okay, according to this knowledge, so that we can follow the right way.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah, because the right way is a perfect balance. You know, now we're actually learning to regulate
That's it.
the amount of, you know, entertainment that we consume, or you know, just in general, we're learning to just balance things out, even with food, with drinking, with women, all of the above, man. Now we're learning the perfect balance, not to overstimulate the flesh, because when you do that, basically you're gonna be living like a beast, because you won't have any control on your urges and lusts. But coming to the truth, like the brother said, now you're learning to regulate these things so that Esau doesn't have the upper hand on you, man. Because he has the upper hand on these people, man. He could, you know, whatever vice or whatever that person is addicted to, he could use it to manipulate them. You know?
What's that the thing you brought out? What's the control people?
Which thing?
I forgot the phrase, bro.
Manipulation.
Huh?
Manipulation?
No. Like that project something.
Magito?
No. We were talking about with Zakar in the movie.
Flash. Not the Project Manhattan. Mind Control. MK Ultra.
MK Ultra. Oh yeah, MK Ultra. Yeah. You know that's
It makes it easier.
Yeah, Esau used that too. You know, for the spies and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? To brainwash them. But yeah, like you said, that makes it easier too. Because, you know, these people, man, you know, they ain't got no what's it called? No regulation. You know what I'm saying? They'll go out and get drunk and to the point of blacking out and puking everywhere, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Very embarrassing.
Yeah.
You know, they don't, you know what I'm saying? They don't have that regulation, that limit. You know, when you sip, you get a little woes, you know, okay, cool, you slow it down. You know what I'm saying? But them, they'll continue until, like, yo, they're to the point of just throughness, bro. You know, showing you, once again, an overstimulated kingdom, man. Just like Esau, because Esau's never satisfied. Like the brother read in Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, man. You know, and these people, they have developed the same mindset as Esau, Edom, man. You know? They're basically children of Esau.
And then bringing it back to them not having power over their limitations. I remember watching that video. I might have to do a video on that. It was a guy, a rich guy, and there was a vegan. There was a vegan, and he's saying that, there's a steak in front of you. You're gonna eat that steak. The vegan said, no, I can't eat. You know, okay, no, he said, no, you don't eat. It's not that you can't eat it, it's that you don't want to eat it. But if I give you $10,000, you're gonna eat it. You know, he just thought about it. Okay, 10,000 is not enough. Give it 20,000. Then she ate it. The guy laughed in her face. Said, all those years of discipline for $20.
Damn.
You know, but
That's
she did
crazy.
it. You know, because she wasn't true to her lifestyle.
Yes.
You know, because she had a price.
She had
a price. But that's the difference between those that are the hopeful elect and the people that are in the world. We don't have a price, man. We have already been bought by the sacrifice of Yahushua, and we understand what we're fighting for.
Yes, sir.
You said?
Oh,
yeah. Proverbs 11:1. A false balance is abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is His delight.
Yeah. False balance is an abomination, man. You know, you can't overdo it or underdo it. You just have to be within that right balance.
That's it.
Of properly doing it, man. You know, every brother and sister is different. You know, your balance is different from another brother. You know what I'm saying? You know, not everybody has the same balance. You got to find out what's your balance.
Yeah.
You know, how you know, like, are a woman good for me, or is alcohol good for me? You know, things of that nature, man. You figure out what's beneficial for your spirit, not your flesh. Okay, of course, we have to feed the flesh. That's true. But the thing, you prioritize your spirit, man. You don't want to be led by the flesh, man. You know, just take a look at these people, man. You know, when you go outside, just observe these people and just see. You're like, yo, you don't want to be like them, bro.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Smoking cigarettes all day, stressing out.
Eating donuts.
They can't deal with their emotions, stress eating and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They can't deal with their emotions, man. They're overstimulated. They always have to have
Regulated.
They don't have a regular. They have to find something to deal. to deal, you know, whatever emotional breakdown that they're going through, man.
Even that thing is not good.
It's not good.
Like even coffee. Coffee is, you can drink it, but the excessiveness that these people drink it at,
Bro.
Energy drinks.
bro.
It's crazy.
Brother, I'm seeing it, bro. I've seen people, you know, they're working, they drink at least like fucking, it's lager from my French, 5 coffees a day, bro. Coming back out, doop, doop. I'm like, yo, did you just go get a coffee? You know?
It didn't work.
And then to go even higher, these people better be drinking like 5 Monsters a day, brother. Monster Red Bull.
Demon.
No, that's like a recipe for a heart attack right there, man. Again,
That's
overstimulated, man.
And they do it every day.
Every day. It's not like one day. It's not like one day. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna relax. I'm not gonna drink
I'm a
it.
fast.
No, it's every day, bro.
Brother, it's not right, man.
You know, and who's responsible for this, man? Esau, bro. He's responsible for making these people addicted to these different things, man.
Because that's the society that he created.
Yeah.
You see? There's no balance in his society.
Yeah.
Even, I don't know if a brother could look it up. In the Roman Empire, they had bring out that precept there. You're talking about the Solomon.
Okay, yeah, come.
Yeah, because even in the Roman Empire, they had longer breaks. It wasn't just 2 weeks, 2 days off on the weekend, and then they have to go back. You know, because even then, 2 days is not enough for you to rest.
It's not.
For the amount of work that you're doing,
It's not.
the amount of stress that you have to deal with.
Right.
Okay, and again, your bills, and again, the price of life is going up, but your wages is not following.
Yeah.
So you're stressed over you're chasing after bills constantly. So you're pressured to work, you're pressured to not book off, you're pressured to handle your business,
Yeah.
where it shouldn't be like that, man.
Yeah.
Okay, because again, if you prioritize how can you say quality time, time to rest, you can come back stronger.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah,
come
your
back
leisure
more efficient.
time.
Yeah, leisure
Yeah.
time. If you give the workers more time to rest, a break, you know, they come back more efficient.
Yeah, they come back more efficient.
Yeah, look at people like, for instance, within the workplace. Let's say someone goes to vacation for like a week or two. When they come back, look at their faces, look at their spirit. They're happy.
They're happy, man.
You know, and that's just 2 weeks from one. You know, depending what job you have. You know, some jobs they give you 4, whatever. You know what I'm saying? They come back happy, brother. Big smile, but that only lasts for like 1 week. Next week they're back to being a demon. You know, it just shows to you how that is beneficial for you to just release. You know, to be like at peace, to just, you know, recuperate, gather your thoughts, man. Because constantly working, you know, dealing with people, and you know, it's not healthy, man. You know.
Yeah, man.
And that leads to what? Diseases. That leads to sicknesses. There's
Yeah,
research
'cause,
on
yeah,
that when
yeah.
That's a lot, you. I'm stressing out too. when you stress too much, it can lead to, you know, you having a physical disease, man.
Yeah.
You know, it's not healthy, bro. Salakia.
Let's see.
I got a precept, you know, in the meantime. Okay. This is Daniel 7 and verse 25. It says, "And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given and they shall be given unto his hand until the time and the times and dividing of times." And Esau Edom is indeed, you know, wearing the saints out, man. Not only the saints, but the whole world, okay, being worn out, man. With this overstimulation is just, you know, constantly being, when you go to the definition of wear out, it says what? Harassed. Okay, Esau is harassing the creation. He's harassing humans, animals, even the animals, bro. This guy's harassing the animals.
Yeah, man.
The insects. Can you believe that?
That's crazy.
You know, he'll take an animal and take them out from their ecosystem and put them in a complete different, you know, environment that they're not accustomed to, you know, leads to them being depressed, extinct. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, this guy just has to go, man. He's fucking up the whole, you know, the whole shit, bro.
The whole system.
The whole order. That the Heavenly Father put in place, man.
Oh man, the scriptures say that, man. It says he shall seek to change times and
Yeah,
laws.
that's what I just read, bro.
Yeah,
that's the spirit, you know. Yeah, that's what he's doing. He's changing the times, changing the laws, you know. And who's paying for that? The creation. Us. We're paying for that shit.
That's why the scriptures also say the creation is crying out, bro, because they know everybody, even the trees, they have life in them, but they know in the spirit,
Bro, even the trees, bro.
they know in the spirit that, yo, bro, this gotta end. You know, that's why it says waited for the sons of the Most High. They're waiting for us.
The creature, yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
For
righteous rulership, it says when the righteous are in authority, the
people rejoice.
And when the wicked are in rulership, the people mourn, man. That's what we're seeing now, man. If they have a smile on their face, they're faking.
Oh, big fake, man. Give them like they smile, wait like I don't know, 30, not even 30, 20 seconds. Yeah. Then they give you a Kanye, brother. You know Kanye? Smile or Chris Paul. That Chris Paul, you know, he's smiling back to straight face.
Shit.
You know what I'm saying? Because even they're suffering, bro.
It's crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
They have no hope. No hope.
No hope, bro. All their hope is in their bogeys, their cigarettes.
And coffee.
And coffee.
They love it. They love it.
Yeah.
That's a bunch. I think that's a bunch of
bogeys and coffee.
Bogeys and coffee, bro. The amount of
man. That's why everyone smokes. That's why there's so much coffee places, coffee spots everywhere, man.
I see the coworkers, man, throughout the day, bro. 5-10 times a day, bro. They go out for a smoke break. Plus coffee too, bro.
Smoke break and coffee.
Smoke break and coffee. You smell their breath, brother.
It's a combination like this.
You smell the breath, it's halas, bro. It's done. Salaki. That was it, man.
I got First Kings 5 and verse 12. I'm gonna read it in the NLT.
Yeah, to bring a perspective on how Solomon was ruling and how he was dealing with the work life in his kingdom.
Right.
And again, bring it back to his kingdom was 40 years of peace.
That's right. Okay? And there was a reason why it was 40 years of peace.
That's it.
Because he knew what the Lord wanted him to do, and he followed it.
That's it.
You know, versus Esau. Esau knows he has the book, but he goes against it.
Yeah, he'll do the opposite.
He does the opposite. So it says 1 Kings 5 and 12. So Yahweh gave wisdom to Solomon, just as he had promised. And Hiram and Solomon made a formal alliance of peace. You see, that's also another thing. King Solomon knew who to make peace with to benefit him and his kingdom. You know what I mean? He knew how to do that. He knew. That's why scriptures speak about counting the cost. So even that's dealing with people.
That's it.
You know, you got to know how to deal with people so it works to your advantage.
That's it.
You know, but Esau doesn't do that. Look at Nero. Look at Trump. You know,
if he talks about peace, there's war behind it.
That's what I'm saying.
You know?
It says, verse 13. Then King Solomon conscripted a labor force of 30,000 men from all Israel. He sent them to Lebanon in shifts, 10,000 every month, so that each man would have 1 month in Lebanon and 2 months at home.
You see, 2 months, you work 1 month, you're 2 months at home.
Yeah.
You see that balance? It's not you're working more than imagine.
Yeah.
In this kingdom, you spend more time at work than at home.
Yeah.
You come home to you pay the bill, you pay the rent, to sleep.
But how are you supposed to build your home? Like, how are you supposed to build up your home if you're always working?
Esau wants you to build his own stuff.
But that's what I'm saying. King Solomon knew. He's like, yo, they need to build themselves up.
Yeah.
That's why the scriptures, there's a law that speaks about you can be a slave to somebody because you can build yourself up that way.
Yeah.
That's it.
And then you can leave after with
substance and knowledge that you acquired from working with that individual
to build yourself up.
That's it.
That's what Jacob did.
That's it. That's it. You know, Jacob came out of there rich. Yeah, he had cattle, he had women, he had children. Even that's wealth. Yeah. You see, he didn't. He came in by himself. He left with a crowd.
Come on, bro.
You see, yeah, man.
Come on,
and knowledge.
Come on, bro.
That's it.
Yo, that's how it's supposed to be.
That's it.
You know. But Esau doesn't want that, like the brother says. Esau wants a nation. What's that? The quote. He wants a nation of
workers.
They're not thinkers.
That's it. That's it.
You know.
Yeah. What King Solomon did, you're basically working for 4 months a year, bro.
Brother.
You know what I'm saying? And then the rest of the months you had off.
You're chilling.
You know, it's like, you know, one month on, 2 months off, 1 month on, 2 months off. Yo.
And imagine that. I'm going to work, come back. Or, yo, like, you could build a whole family. You could be with your family. You could raise sons and, yo, come on, bro. In that time of rest.
You don't have to stress.
You don't have to stress.
And they were probably getting paid well, very well.
And you'll be, you'll be focused. Because you'll be like, yo, I'm going to work for this month. So your mind is focused on work.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, oh, you don't have to worry about, I gotta clock into, you don't have to rush like that. But then when you're home for the 2 months, you're focused on being home and resting, not worrying about, yo, tomorrow I'm gonna be late. Or tomorrow, or like the day's ending and be like, yo, I have to wake up tomorrow.
Yeah.
You don't have, that's not there.
Yeah.
You know?
You see? Yeah. You know, that's why, what did the Queen of Sheba say? Oh, happy are the people that are under you.
Yeah.
Because you set up, the way you set up your kingdom is greater than what I heard of. Okay, I seen it. It's greater than what I was told.
Yeah.
You see, again, because he ordered it according to wisdom. Okay. There's more than that.
No, that's it.
I got unless you got something.
Last one.
Yeah, real quick, I got some. This is Wisdom of Solomon 6 and verse 24. It says, "But the multitude of the wise is the welfare of the world, and a wise king is the upholding of the people."
Yeah, bring out that precept in Sirach 10,
Can.
Yeah.
The 10
again, when the wicked in the beginning.
Okay.
Because again, as it says, the multitude of the wise is the welfare of the earth. When the wise are in rulership, they everything is right.
Yeah.
How much more when Yahushua, the profitable one, is going to be set up to bring order on the earth? It says that the increase and peace is going to be ever. It's just going to keep increasing, man. Okay, that's what we're waiting for, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Sirach 10 and verse 1, it says, "A wise judge will instruct his people, and the governance of a prudent man is well ordered."
That's it. Keep going.
It says, "As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers."
So when the wise are going to be in rulership, even the people down below them are going to be wise too, because they're going to follow the righteous, their vibration. Okay. When Yahushua is going to implement righteousness on the earth, the law, statutes, and commandments is going to be the law of the land. Okay, people will have no choice but to hearken and to obey the ordinances of the Lord. Okay?
Yeah, it says, "In what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein."
Here you go.
Yeah, because when...
The wise destroy the people.
Oh, it's the next verse.
Okay, go ahead.
But I wanted to add to this point too, because even when you, let's say, you're a king or a ruler, you know what I'm saying? It's your vibration. You know, you get to say what goes and what doesn't go. That comes with any position of, rulership or, you know what I'm saying, management or whatever. You're the one that's controlling the vibration of the workplace. You know? So, you know what I'm saying? And you can see that. Let's say if there's a change in management, you see the team, it's moving differently now because it's a different spirit. It's a different person, you know? So, right now, the earth is under the spirit of the wicked. So there's a wicked vibration. But when we come in, it's going to be a righteous vibration.
That's it. Everything's going to be done all right. Your wife is not going to be able to commit adultery behind your back. Okay, you won't be able to go and steal from your neighbor. Okay, judgment will be implemented because again, that's what is pleasing in the sight of the Lord. Okay, righteous judgment. Okay, you see, that's what we're going to bring upon. That's what the Lord is going to bring upon the earth.
That's right. Okay,
the fear of the Lord is going to increase on the earth. And that's what's going to bring the kingdom where dwelleth righteousness. That's what we're seeking for.
Yeah. Verse 3 says, "An unwise king destroyeth his people."
An unwise king destroyeth his people.
Very unwise.
An unwise king destroyeth his people. And again, we said that he is as death. Okay, he doesn't care who he has to kill. He doesn't care who. It says a sword was given unto him so that men can destroy one another. Okay, he was set up to take away peace. He doesn't care, man. He's a madman that has to be taken down, man. Okay?
Yeah, it says, "But through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited."
That's it. And the prudence starts now. Okay? By seeking the Lord, turning back to the truth. Okay? Obeying Yahweh, having faith in the Lord. Okay? And again, mortifying your members. Okay? Seeking the Lord 10 times more, man. Okay? Because again, we're coming into hard times, we're coming to evil times, and you can't allow the flesh to overcome you to the point where you submit to this evil system, man. Okay, you have to be in the spirit. That's it on that.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay, Khan. Yeah. So, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying to the elect. In closing, we'd like to give our praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rachakadosh. Once again, double honors to our teachers, the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone, and shalom to the elect.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Yeah, let's make sure we get them.
Look at that.